Dyma santa'n dyfod gyda'i sach, sach yn llawn teganau I chwarae drwy y dydd. Meddwl o bethau da sydd yn ddynghil. Now Santa Claus, dros y nos, yn ei wagen wen. Gyda chwichech yw dyn tynnu nerthau pen. Fel y gwynt ar ei hynt, aeth o lag o rhagfa drwy raw y iach, gyda sach lawn I blant.
Yeah, I've done it again. I've only just fucking forgot our backpack. Again. Also, incidentally, I forgot to put out the bins. So, that is all. That's why I'm gonna see Witch Agnes. Wait, I can't see Witch Agnes? Why not? She's been so busy lately. I don't want to be a bother. Man, God, it's been non-stop today. I just got a text from James saying he's on his way back from his work trip in Abbott. I was like, I thought you weren't leaving till after lunch. Holy shit, it is after lunch. Now we gotta go to the post office. I haven't eaten any food. I haven't walked the dogs yet. Maisie's pissed. Ugh, what a shit show. There's a kitty cat in the yard. He's escaping if he knows what's good for him. Run if you want to leave. Yeah, let's go. Off we go. Holy shiz! This day has been wild. I've not had a chance to eat food, drink coffee, do random browsing of cat videos on the internet. It's been nuts, just chasing my tail basically the entire fucking day. Anyway, I thought for today we'd have a light chat about a reading progress report up until this point. So all those books that I was going to read that I told you about in my December TBR, I haven't read really any of them. I've read 2 of them, and I'm in the middle of another one. That's literally it. But I thought I'd say anyway because some of them are good. So the first one is The OK Witch. I accidentally gave this one back to the library, like my Libby thing. I returned it and then thought, oh shit, I should have kept it to have a chat. But this one was cute. It was cute. I really liked it. Like the first one I really liked as well. The first one just basically sets up this scene where this girl finds out that she is a witch and her mother's a witch, and also that her mother entered a time warp zone, like a magical protection world when she was a kid in the 1700s, and then sort of popped out, and then because time worked differently in that zone versus this zone, she's just now in the 21st century going, shit, I can't believe 300 years and the real world is past. And then they set up this thing in the first one as well about how she lives in this town, and the founders of the town are these witch hunter type dudes, and their ancestors are living sort of now, and the sort of witch hunter guy, the main witch hunter guy, was a ghost and was trying to get them to know. Anyway, okay, the second one was even better because it's basically you do this spell. So this girl, she's learning how to use magic now. It's a brand new thing. She's I'm a witch now. How do I do stuff? And her mother's let's go slow. I don't want to pressure you. We don't want to go too fast. You'll be traumatized. She's let's do it. Let's do magic. So she takes this thing from her grandmother, which is an amulet type thing, where you put things into the amulet from people that you want to be like, and then you say to the thing oh, a spell about how you want that person to be like you, or you want to be like that person, and then it gives you those qualities for a bit. And this girl's just a bit nerdy, and there's this bully who is really nasty to her and then sort of gaslights her about it, it was just a joke, you're so sensitive, that sort of shit. And all the cool girls, they're not bullies, but the sort of witch girl overhears a conversation where they're oh, that guy, he's so mean, I just wish he would stop, maybe I'll say something next time he does it, or maybe I won't, I don't know, seems so intense. Like, they just basically let it happen. They know that she's being bullied and they don't do anything about it, which is just as bad, really. And then, so as she's using this amulet, she finds out later that there's this terrible side effect of using the amulet, which is that it creates this, like, shadow person. So there's, like, this now shadow, this girl's called Moth. Now there's a shadow Moth, and she's, like, hungry and wants to eat up Moth and, like, take her place. So she's, like, the cooler, more confident version that Moth has been building with this amulet. You know, like, she's been taking, like, things from confident, cool people, putting in this thing and becoming cooler, more confident. Now she's got friends, and she, like, stands up to her bully and, like, makes people laugh at him, you know, by being clever and stuff. But now this sort of cleverer, more confident Moth is a shadow Moth and wants to take over control of the body. So she's got to sort of, like, defeat this person, like, with her friends and family. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I love the message behind it as well, you know, like, you know, to defeat your bullies or whatever. Like, you shouldn't be, like, a different person, you know, you don't need to be a different person, you can just embrace, like, the person you are. I don't know, like, it had so many messages. I just fucking loved it. And I loved the art, it was brilliant. Okay, another one that we're in the middle of, Garlic and the Witch. So Garlic and the Vampire was the first one, and it was banging. I fully enjoyed it. Garlic and the Witch is the second one, and Spud and I are in the middle of it at the minute. Basically, it's this witch, and she's sort of lonely, and she's sort of old, and she's living on her own, she's doing her gardening and stuff, and she decides that she needs a bit of help and a bit of company. So she turns these vegetables into, like, people vegetables. She, like, makes them sort of walking, talking vegetables, and one of them is garlic and one of them is carrot, and they're, like, friends. And there's also this vampire guy who lives down the road, who's, like, a gentleman vampire. He's actually very kind, and he's also a good gardener, and he's working on perfecting this, like, fake blood substitute thing so that he doesn't have to actually drink people. Like, anyway, I love the characters and I love the art in it, and it's quite good. Like this, but wait, where's our vampire guy? Here's our vampire guy. But anyway, I'm fully enjoying it. Last one that I literally just finished via audiobook in the shower, I won't lie, it's an audiobook, is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. And this one, I've read a couple of Stephen Graham Jones ones now, and one being sort of the No Good Indians one or whatever, with the sort of elk person or whatever. Another one being like a zombie bake-off, which I thought was actually a bit silly, but I really liked the sort of No Good Indians one. And this one, I think 3 stars? 4 stars? I don't know. So, I think it would be 4 stars if it wasn't so confusing. Like, and I googled this as well. Like, I looked online at, like, forums and stuff and read it. So it'd be like, is it just me that find it super confusing? And, like, no, loads of people find it super confusing, and they're all just like, can somebody please explain to me what happens at the end? And, like, so going through and being like, why are there so many different stories? There's this side story and this side story and this side story, and it's hard to follow all the stories. And then in the end, a gazillion different sort of slasher movie scenarios happen sort of all together, and it's just a bit intense and confusing. However, I feel like other than that, it would be 4 stars. Like, I really like the writing, and I really like the characters. Like, the main character, Jade, is quite quirky, and she's obsessed with horror novels and is convinced that she's in one, like, before anyone has any inkling that anything awful is happening or that people are dying or whatever. She's got it in her mind that her friend, or this girl that she knows, is going to be the final girl, and that she's going to be in this, like, horror. And she sort of keeps sort of, like, giving us, like, background commentary, you know, like, in slasher novels 20% of the slashers are blah blah blah, or for every slasher there needs to be an element of so and so and so and so, and this is clearly a case of blah blah blah. Like, just sort of saying how she's clearly in a slasher, and she's quirky, and I like her. And also she's quite deep. Like, she's got this situation with her dad that I won't, like, disclose. I mean, trigger warnings, just in case. But I'm gonna say, if I wasn't so, like, confused and, like, deeply, like, trying to, like, hold on to each of the bit of, like, the threads of the story, and didn't need someone on Reddit to talk me through the ending, I would have given this 4 stars, because I did really enjoy it. Okay, also, just as, like, a side note, That has nothing to do with the books that I'm reading, but has been sitting in my bag with my books for a while because my kid and I are obsessed. Does anyone still do Mad Libs? Come on, where are my Mad Libs people at? I fucking love Mad Libs, and now so does my kid. Like, basically, I think she might be the only 7-year-old in her school who knows what, like, nouns and adjectives and adverbs are, simply because we gotta master this shit so we get a good story down. And I, like, do loads of cheating. Like, I'll be like, okay, we need an adverb, but we need it to be to do with maybe a dog. Like, I give her clues, like, toward what we're trying to do here with the word, you know? I don't just, like, do it, like, random, you know, where you're supposed to just, like, pull anything out, you know? Like, I want to make a good story. Okay, like, if you don't know what Mad Libs are, basically, it's, like, a story with a bunch of blanks in it, and underneath it says, like, what kind of, like, part of speech you need. So we need to plug a verb in there. So you just say to the person, you're like, I need a verb. And they'll be like, you need a verb? And they'll just think of something like jump, skip, eat. You know, they'll just give you one and you write it in. So like with this, it's like, it is I, will the, and then adjective. And I would just say to them, think of an adjective, and they'd just be like, purple, you know? So now the story starts with, it is I, will the purple, like that. Do you know what I mean? And it sounds sort of stupid, I know, now that I'm like saying it out loud. It sounds a bit dumb, but it's not dumb. It's the full opposite of dumb. It is fucking banging. And I fully recommend you get some if you don't have these already. That is all. I love the stepdad sweater. That's a really good early 90s sweater.